Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about or I'm going to solve these questions I have in the left. There are 44 45 questions and we are going to finish them. Actually they are for these questions are solved using the for loop, but I am going to solve it using the while loop. This is my task for today. I have already done the loop task, the first task here using the for loops. Now I'm gonna use the while loop and finish the task. Let's start. I have already solved the first one, printing software area 10 times. That's simple. I use I as a variable 0 while I less than 10, print software area. Let's run this program, and here's the output. So now we should start another program. In the second, we are given sum of a list. Sum of list dot py, and I would like to move this file to the inside, and let's do the task. So we need a list. Num list equals to, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now we need the sum of the numbers included inside the list. So I'm gonna give a variable for the counter variable or the index variable to get these numbers in the loop. For that I'm going to consider I. So I equals to 0, means the indexing starts from 0. So 0 1 2 3 4, don't be confused with the numbers given here. So 0 1 2 3, that's the indexing of those. So I'm going to give I equals to 0. Now we use while loop. So for while I is always less than length of the num list, this will give a proper loop and it will go up to the number 6. And since there are 6 numbers, so this len will give the output 6, and I is 0, so I will go up to 6, go up to 5 because it's less than sign, so the loop will get terminated. Now let's start. We have to also do sum, so let's assign the sum variable to 0. In sum we should use 0 because while adding, 0 is the, and you while doing a product you should consider product equals to 1. So let's start. While I is less than len num underscore list, now I will just write it out. Now we have to calculate sum equals to sum plus, so the sum variable will include the sum plus we have to get the 1. So for 1 index is 0, so in the list we can do like this, give the name list, and we have to send the index variable I, because I is 0, so it will get the 1. Now this will add the sum and the new variable from the list, first index number of the list, and it will assign the value to the sum. Now let's use increment. In while we shall give increment to the I, so I is equals to I plus 1. This will increase our value of I, otherwise in while statement the increment decrement is handled by the user itself, so we should keep the increment. In for loop the increments are handled by the for loops or given the sequence. So doing this, this I will get updated, and we will get new file. Just previously it's 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, so I value is 1, it will go up. And again the from num list we have to get the value variable which have index 1. So 0 1, so 2 have the index 1, and we'll get the 2, while our sum value was 1 previously, and 1 plus 2 is 3. Now new sum value is 3. That's how it gonna process. And let's see, now we're gonna print the sum. Let's go, let's run the Python file. Now it's gonna print the file sum is 21. So yeah, we can do like this, or you can again use this method to again simplify the long codes. So instead of using equals to and adding one or adding something some to the variable, you can use this function, or you can use this method for the increment or the sum. So yeah, this is how it's done. Now let's go to another 3, print each character using indexing. So let's print each character dot py. Now let's start by typing, let the user give us the string. So for that we have to user string. Let's suppose a variable name user string equals to, let's get something from the user. For that we have to use input, and we have to keep semicolon so that some message will be displayed for the user to enter their string. Enter a string. The colon and a space is for just for the UI changes. Now let's print each character from the user string. For that, let's again assign a variable with a 0. In while loop we have to always consider a variable or set up the variable before the while statement. So while I is less than len user string, so this will give the length of a user string in numbers. So I is 0, 0 is less than, it will go up to that. Now we have to print each character. For to print each characters, we're gonna use the string, and like just in a list or in an array, we have to pass the indexing. So I will use print I as an indexing, and always don't forget to include a increment or decrement in the while statement. So this is gonna print. Let's check it out. Enter a string. So let's put a string like, now let's solve the fourth question. Fourth is write a program to display integer from a list. Int from list.py. So here we are given the list. So I'm gonna name it mixed list equals to 1 comma a in, inside the semi inside the inverted comma we have to insert the string values. That's the list. So in this mixed list we have to extract out only the integers. So how can we? Let's assign a variable so that we get indexing from each. Now let's start with the while statement. For while statement we're gonna, while I is less than the length of the mix list. So I works as an increment, so we are gonna give I plus equals to 1. For each increment we have to get the integer values from the list. For that we have to use check the condition if that is an integer or not. In Python we can use the if statement to decide whether that is or not. And a method is instance is called from the each instance is it takes an object and a class, and if the object represents the class or its data type, then it returns the boolean value. If the object is that if the object we want to pass is same as the data type we want, then the response we will get is true. So if accepts the true value, if true, then it will give the output. So let's print if true, then let's print the mix list and we have to give the indexing value. So for each instance inside the instance we have to give the object and the class or type of the object. And if we have the object as mix list, we're going to pass the same value mix list I. We're going to compare it with the integer. So in this instance if the mix list the data coming from the here is integer, then we have to print the integer. This will extract the integer from the list, as we see 1 2 3 4. That's how we're gonna extract the list. Now for the question number 5, multiplication of each element given list 4 5 3 2. So this is just the multi list dot py mul list. Let's name the mul list, and we are given the list as 4 5 3 3 and 2. So again using the variable before the while statement, so I is less than length of the list. In Python we use the colon and indentation instead of the curly brackets. So while I is less than len list, we're gonna multiply. So as I said before, the product or the multiply should have the variable 1, because 1 into something is something. 1 into something is always something, so it's not gonna hurt our results. It's not gonna hurt our results, as I equals to 0 is our indexing, mul 1 equals to multiply. It will